Everybody, the double round week, the first one of the year, is in the books. We had Cervena Zvezda and Olympiacos, both Reds, winning on both of their fixtures that week. Virtus and Barcelona at the top, establishing themselves and winning two important games. And we had Monaco actually slipping down by losing both of the important games.
And also, we had Happy New Year from me as well, guys. We had the game of the year. The game of the year was Real Madrid versus Anadolu Efes. It went to the fourth extra time. It was an amazing game. Several players reached different milestones in their Euroleague career, but honestly, it's a game for the books. Um, I believe Bill has the same opinion with me. Is that right, Bill?
Best, yeah, best game of the year by far. Um, I mean, I wouldn't believe it will be more and more overtimes. Played 60 minutes, 60 minutes of play. 130, 126. Many players, as you said, hit milestones, and not just that. Many players had double doubles. We had Musa scoring 40 points. It was just mad. And on the other side, Larkin in the end trying to, get the game himself. And it's amazing heroic from both sides. It is a pity that someone has to lose this game, and also cost quite a lot of FS to lose. I think it would have cost way less Real to lose that game, but that's how it is.
True.
Real in Spain is a different animal, um, so very tough to beat. But yeah, whoever can just find this game and watch it. I mean, it is a historic game.
Yeah, it's honestly the joy of basketball. You just see that joy of basketball. As Bill said, you can see Larkin fighting to the last, the last shot. He gives everything. Plies, he lost more the most part of the first part of the EuroLeague, but he stepped up. He scored in at 1.5 points in a row, hitting a 3-pointer from the top of the arc. So it was amazing game.
Yeah, and many players played for some crazy minutes. So the load management through the national links and another double round win that is coming is going to be crucial, especially with the first missing so many players. So let's see how the standings are after all this. So yeah, same with last time. Real is clinched the probably the top. It's going to be tough for them to lose that spot. The only undefeated team in the EuroLeague, and
At
then with
home,
their wins
at
at
home.
home, that's
Yeah,
very correct. Uh, uh, at home, they do have two losses away. Um, and then we had Virtus and Barcelona with double wins, establishing more their spots on the top. So the second and the third spot, as you can see there, Barcelona plus 2 wins from the mid-table saga, and Virtus plus 3 from the 4 teams that they tie at 11 wins. And then we have the other group of the 4 teams tied at 10 wins. Monaco was on the upper side before the previous round week, and Olympiacos was on the lower one. So that's the switch happened since last week. Apart from that, these 8 teams, they're going hand on hand for quite a long time. Another double round week coming, so it will be important to see who managed to get perhaps on the upper window. And then, of course, we have Bayer, Cervena Zvezda, and Armani Milan being at -2 from the spots to the play-in tournament. And the 2 teams that have been highlighted, FS and Zalgiris, are losing some momentum here because -4 and -3 perhaps is a big gap to overcome in less than a half year. this double round week for Efes and Zalgiris are absolutely crucial if they want to just keep their hopes up, the list that left for them. And just to mention in the end, Alba remains the only team without an away win yet in the tournament. And it was, I think we have one of the games is as well Alba, right? So
Yes, we have this week, in this double round week.
so let's see if that remains the same or changes. As well is having another coach. Not sure, how that makes any sense, but yes, they have another coach, and I think it's the previous assistant. Um, and then we'll see how they do. I'm not sure if is the Colo back or still injured.
The Colo is not back. He's still injured. He was supposed to be back this week, but still, he will not play in the first game of this double round week. But I have to mention again, seeing the standings after 19 games. I know I said it a lot of times in our episodes, but I have to say the vibe that you get when you see Virtus Bologna playing at home is something different. Is something different, and they are up there for a reason. I mean, to me, they are surprised compared to, because you see other teams from, let's say, number 4 to number 11, or even number 12. Sorry, because Armani had on the paper they had bigger names, let's say, on the roster. But Virtus, they changed coach the beginning before the starting of Euroleague, and you see them now number 2 in the standings. I mean, it's a big surprise, but to my eyes, it's a nice surprise, a positive surprise, let's say.
No, I don't think anyone, even Virtus fans, especially with the way the whole summer ended, would put themselves on the top 4 spot. Perhaps, if you were optimistic, you had them being within the 6th or getting into the play-ins. But to be there and be so convincing, I think is an amazing positive story this year.
And they show
A
consistency.
work.
Yeah, true. You see consistency from that team, from Virtus, throughout the 19 games so far. So the gap they have is for their advantage at the moment, because you see from 4th position till the 11th, these teams will fight now. It's pure fight, but they have a +3, which is safe for them. They're on the safe zone, let's say.
Yeah. Small pillow blanket, let's say, to
Yeah.
get them safe for now.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, we'll move to another double round week. So again, careful guys. The games are happening today, Tuesday 9th. So make sure you make your team quite early before it's too late and you lose the whole cutoff. And also, not just that, we have unlimited trades. So you can reset the team perhaps. So over to you. Let's guide us. You guide us through this double round week.
Yes. So we see on the left-hand side, this is round 20. You see some big games. For example, we have Barcelona versus Olympiacos, which is big game for both teams. As you see on the standings, Barcelona is number 3, but Olympiacos is fighting. Is one of the teams that we said they're fighting to move up and up in the standings. So I believe it will be an exciting game to watch, definitely. In Spain, and then also we have Monaco versus Baskonia. Monaco, they need to bounce back. Elio Kobo is out of the team for internal issues and reasons. So that means that if Lloyd is not back, Monaco has Mike James and Kemba Walker at guard. Maybe Strazel is back, and he will get some minutes because these two guys will need help, definitely, at guard.
I
Um,
think Lloyd is going to play if I remember correct. Most probably he will suit up to play
mhm,
tomorrow. Let's see.
okay. That's good news. Another good player, very quality player to be back. And also we have other two games. We have Panathinaikos versus Anadolu Efes. As Bill mentioned earlier, crucial double week for FS, and starting with a tough game in a tough home court. And then lastly, I have to say Maccabi versus Virtus. Maccabi lost badly versus Fener last game. Virtus is Virtus. They show consistency. It's fun to watch this team play every single game. You don't know who will be the protagonist. I can be Shengelia, but in the last three games, Hackett has stepped up, and you see a different Hackett, a leader on the court. So I believe these games are the most exciting games for round 20. I don't know if you want to add anything, Bill, before going
No,
for
I
the
think you. I
selections.
think I think you covered. Yeah, you covered all the big ones. Maybe let's go to the coach
The
selections
coach selections. For the
for
coaches
this.
for this round, we recommend Coach Mumbrou from Valencia. Valencia is playing at home versus Žalgiris. They lost to the point versus Panathinaikos last game. Otherwise, they will have two wins versus FS and Panathinaikos in the last double round week. And Valencia, they will need to get to the W again, W roll. I mean, so they will fight till the end to get this game. Then we have Coach Messina from Armani. So Armani is playing versus Alba Berlin. Potentially, it's not a very tough game. It's not easy because don't get confused because Alba is the last team because in the first round Alba won versus Armani. So you never know, but Armani, it's a team that they need to bounce back. They also have now Napier at guard, so it's
Also,
one
you
of
are.
the teams.
It's
Uh,
Alba 010.
yes, also,
It
and
will be 010. Let's.
let's see if it's 0-10, but keep an eye for Armani. Um, we believe that Armani is one of the teams that they will start getting the W's. I mean, they will just make their run to get to the play-in or in the first standings. But it's time that they start doing this. Otherwise, they will lose. They need to build the momentum. Otherwise, they will lose time. And the last coach, sorry, not the last coach. We have two coaches. One is Sferopoulos from Svena Zvezda. They're playing versus Asvel in France. I believe it's the first game, right, with a new coach for Asvel at
Yeah.
home. Tricky game, but Srena Zvezda has the quality to win the game, and also as well is missing the call, so is missing a quality guard who can give score and control the tempo of the game and the game. So
Let's not just call the call a quality card. I mean, I know the call is not the most
no,
favorite
he's to
of
me
people, but
he's what do you mean?
he's
He's a legend.
he's I think he's the one of the most underrated players in the EuroLeague for
Yeah.
many reasons.
Hmm.
And his style of play maybe that is not favor him around the fans, but he's on the 90-40-50 club.
Yep. Hmm. Hmm.
Very few players can be on that, and he has been delivered in many teams and occasions. So yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
no, no,
just
no,
a
no,
comment on the call.
no, 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 no. You're right, and I have to add to this. some months ago, we were talking with Bill, and about, why don't we create, the all-time best, rosters from every team in Euroleague. And the time came, and we had to pick players for Cheska Moscow. And then we thought about the call. Both of us, we said, okay, we cannot build a team without the call at guard. And when we saw how many achievements and milestones the call reached with Cheska in 1 year, in one season. I think it was the season that they won the EuroLeague, but in Baskonia. I mean, the Final Four in Baskonia. But if I recall correctly, it was amazing. He was a top scorer, the top assist, or I don't remember how many. So I believe what Bill said, underrated, is a key word, because he played in the French national team with Tony Parker. Tony Parker is a star directly, so you cannot be number one. But yeah, but the call
I
of
mean, you can have your defensive questions like about him, his commitment on defense, perhaps. But I think when we're talking about offense, he's there with the elite.
yeah,
Yeah,
true,
yeah.
true.
Sorry for that redirection. So
Yeah.
let's go back to the last coach
And the
selection
last
then.
coach selection is Ataman from Panathinaikos. They're playing at home in Athens, and they need to win in order to stay in the top standings. Um, Panathinaikos lost Vildoza for a month. He was injured in a game for the Greek League on Sunday. Also, Slukas and Lesor, they train with the team. That's what the news say. And Ataman even said they have to play, so they must play. So in terms, there's no off for Slukas and Lesor, let's say. But these are the coaches that we
So do you
we
have also the list of FS
well, for
absences,
FS.
because they are missing so many players.
They're missing Clyburn.
Really,
Jones got injured versus Real Madrid.
yeah,
Um,
in one of the extra times. Yeah,
yes, Willis is back. Derek Willis is back. Thankfully for them, for FS. But still, yeah, they're missing too many players. I mean, if I start saying names, I will forget some.
yeah, and as we I think mentioned earlier, let's see if fatigue plays any important factor here, especially getting late into that game. As I said, many of the players you mentioned actually, Timo Plyce, right? At
Yeah,
his age, he was playing. I don't know how many minutes he played on that game. So, yeah, is one to keep an eye on how it goes.
and because that was a good point, Bill, about FS, because I'm moving now to round 21 on the right hand side, and if you see, Anadolu Efes is playing versus Virtus, which is another game to watch for round 21. So even at home, it's a tough game, but fatigue plays a major role. Again, um, if you have, if your roster is not full due to injuries, then you have more. You need to find this extra boost from the crowd, perhaps, at home, that will give you the energy just to stay focused and give everything you have to win the game. um Also, we have on round 21 Panathinaikos versus Monaco, another big game. Two back-to-back home court games for Panathinaikos, maybe an opportunity for them to have a 2-0 week, perhaps, which in this case will give Monaco, again, will keep Monaco below in the standings. And then also we have Baskonia versus Olympiacos. So Olympiacos has a Spain trip for this double round week. versus Barcelona and Baskonia, two tough arenas to play. So, but they are very, well organized on the court. So I believe will be an exciting games to watch.
Can I add also Partizan Maccabi because
Yeah,
they are in this pack of the 8 teams that we were mentioning
true.
earlier. So they're fighting for this extra win. The same way that Baskonia and Olympiacos, I think they are 1 win away.
Hmm. True.
So all of these games very very crucial.
Hmm.
So in terms of code selection, then
We have,
can I start with Alba making their first their first away win of the year? It should be our big bet of the week, I think. Would Alba finally make it? Would they make their first win away from home this year? So Gonzalez,
yeah, coach Gonzalez. Either if we see 2-0 from Asvel because they're playing two games at home, either we see 2-0 from Asvel or we see Alba winning the first away game. These are the
yeah,
scenarios that we can suggest. Also, we have Coach Grimau from Barcelona. They are playing versus Zalgiris, so potentially they will get the W um, in this game. And then lastly, we have Ettore Vecina from Armani Milan. They are playing versus Crvena Zvezda. Crvena Zvezda has a trip to France and a trip to Italy, two away games. Also, Milos Teodosic traveled with the team, but he had an injury on his wrist in the last game for the ABA League, so we don't know the status. And also the factor that Armani needs this to get the momentum and the W's. It makes this double round week for them a must win in both games. Must week
yeah,
win for Armani.
yeah. So you see, as we said, everything is so crucial after this double round week. If what we have now projected really happens, then Milan is knocking the door of the potentially the 10th place. So maybe they have bridged the gap from the -2 to -1, or even matching probably -1. And then Zalgiris would have lost both games in Spain if this happens. So potentially they are out of the race for trying to get planes. Very very crucial double week. NFS, as you mentioned, very very big games for them. They need to get something.
Yeah. The same. Let me add this because I just had an idea, a thought. Because we were talking about coaches, and I see Real Madrid playing with Valencia. So on the paper, Chus Mateo is an option. Of course, he's an option because Real Madrid is the favorite to win the game. I mean, they are the number one in the standings as well. And you see the last game at home versus FS how it went. But also take into consideration, as Bill said, the fatigue factor because some players they play a lot of minutes. Like Campazzo played, I don't remember how many minutes he played versus FS, but he played. Facundo played 20 minutes or 21 minutes in the ASAB league. So it's a lot of minutes because you never know how the game versus Bayern will go. For example, in round 20, if Campazzo is needed for 20-25 minutes, then potentially again, now we're making scenarios. You don't expect him to play more than 20 minutes or more than 18 minutes versus Valencia. And in games with teams from their own country, you never know how they will go. So you cannot predict in this game.
Yeah, very good points. And with that, we can move on to our team. So I will start with AlleyOopDunks at the first fixture of the double round week that just passed. We had a good result with 210. Zelimir Obradovic giving us 20 points. Monek, an amazing game. James, as a captain, the most points there. Panther and Fall, great games. And Degerski's good games. From the bench, Sorkin, Jackson, very, very nice games. And wide, but anyways, 210 is great. And with that momentum, we just crashed the next fixture because the Napier bet didn't play out, but I have to say, potentially is one of the players that we would like to reconsider, especially if Milan get the rhythm. He's going to be instrumental for the team as, Shields and Mirot is coming back wherever they come back, but they will get stronger and stronger. And then, we didn't have a good day. Moneke from 37 to 7, James, all they seem to just relax the second one. So only Banky gave us the 20 points. And thank you for that. So we are going to the double round week. As I said earlier, we have unlimited trades. So I'm not going to say what we swap. I'm just going to say how we build the team. So we were thinking about doing just 1-2 changes or rebuild everything from scratch. Last time we rebuilt everything from the scratch, it didn't go our way, so we decided to do it again. And we are going with Messina as a coach with 7.6, and then we build around the big star names of James, that has to be our captain for the first turn, and then Singelia, if needed, captain for the second turn, and Sedekerski, Sojeleye for the other forwards, and Timan as our main center with less than 13 credits, and Grant as our main second guard next to James. Grant is going to be important on that game versus FS in guarding Larkin and in guiding offensively Panathinaikos, with Slukas being back just from an injury and then missing Vildoza as well. But I think Grant is a player that takes quite a lot of energy from his defensive way of playing. So the better he performs on defense, the better he actually gets the momentum and the energy at the other front. That's usually what happens with defensive mentality players. So he's very good on that. And then we have Gillespie from Cervenos Vesta versus as well. Just 6.1 credits seems to be like a very good deep value solution. On the last game with Partizan, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 19.8 with a bonus of win fantasy points. So I don't think you can find with less than, with around 6 credits, such a promising choice. And of course, then we finish the team with some fillers. We have Marinkovic at guard and Lekavicius, that he's one of the main veterans for Trincheri. You can see before Trincheri, he's not really performing. With Marksvitis, he's not really getting a crucial role in the team. Sometimes he may play a little bit more, sometimes not. But from the moment we have
let me add, he was also injured. So, to give the Max Vitis, he used to coach Max Vitis used to play like a bitch, but then he got injured and he lost momentum and everything. But now Trincheri is making him a key factor for the team from the bench.
Yeah, so the last 2 games, he got 25 and 19 minutes. So he's a clear role player with around 20 minutes in the rotation. So with just 4.8 points, 8 credits, is one of the players that will probably have the most playing time. It's not an easy matchup, but with credit is probably one of the best solutions we could have. And finally, we're closing the team with Hanka, another player that was had problems with injuries, as you said, with Lekavicius. Sorry, with and then with Lekavicius, and then we had Hanka playing also against as well. He is getting from Sferopoulos some more time, and seems to he's finding his rhythm in the role. He's playing since he's back at least 22 minutes. We know how versatile he is. He can cover multiple positions. He can be the organizer of the team, but he can also play as a forward. So very important tool at the hands of Sferopoulos. 5.9 credits only, and potentially he will have a lot work to do on both ends of the floor. So this is how AlleyOopDunks is going for the next round. Potentially on this double round week, we'll have some small adjustments, perhaps Grand or Zileye, and depending on how the rest of our players perform. Fingers crossed that this time the total rebuild worth it.
True, true. New faces, and some players that we never thought that will be, one of the choices. For example, Gillespie or Grant, they are, because of their performance. And also, if you see that team, there is an improvement on, let's say, the fillers of the team, like Hanga, Marinkovic, and Lekavicius are fillers in a way, but they can give you more compared to Schneider, for example, or Jackson, who is playing well. Don't get me wrong, who is playing well for us, well, but still, Lekavicius, you see, he's getting more and more involved in the rotation of the team.
And with that, let's move to our sidekick team, the deep value team.
Also remember, we cannot have same players in both teams. That's the rule we have. But before that, we see round 18, we had 140.1. I like the point one. I like that. 140.1. It will make a difference that we have more points. So you see Larkin scoring 40 as a captain, Bolomboy 34.10, but Peters 25.30, but also you see Lesor 0. So one of the main players that you expect to give us a minimum 20 give us 0. Trinchieri give us plus 10. Then in round 19, we said, okay, things will get better. Lesor give us 15.40, which is an improvement, but then Trinchieri give us minus 10. So, okay, we said, okay, we can live with this. Larkin's giving us 66. Okay, that's fine. Pandro give us 10. So, you see, you don't see, consistency from the players we have. Also, Peters 13.20. So, we decided to make some changes for round 20, and by saying some, I mean total rebuild almost. So as you see here, we brought Mumbrou as our coach. We kept Larkin, and he's also our captain for round 20, and we changed everything else more or less. We brought in Oturu from FS. He's very quality center, sorry, and he's performing so far. And to fill it with Kumaje, so we try to bring one, let's say, expensive player, and fill the other position with one less expensive player. So in this case, we brought Kumaje with Oturu. At forward, we brought Colson Luvavu Cabarro. These are the main forwards. Coulson is playing the second tier 2. That's why we wanted to have a tier 2 player, potentially to have a different option as a captain. Also, Campazzo is back on this team, and Hackett. So we have 3 guards, Campazzo, Larkin, and Hackett, who can give you more than 10 fantasy points. And the rest are fillers. For example, you see Giedraitis from Zalgiris, Schneider from Alba, and Diaz from Baskonia. These are the fillers. But you see the difference compared to the fillers from our main team, which are Hanga, Marinkovic, and Lakavicius. So that is what I mean. The fillers on the first team can make the difference. But otherwise, you see, we built everything around Larkin. I think that's what we did in the last time, but we built around Mirotic, not Larkin, with unlimited trades. I mean.
But yes, exactly. But Larkin was on our team, so both of our teams we kept the 2 stars, so James and Larkin, in its team, and built around them.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know if you mentioned Mubru also
as a captain. Yeah.
Did.
Yeah. So instead of Trinkberry. Yeah. So these are as you see, if you want to make unlimited trades and not stick to the usual 3, there are plenty of players to choose, no matter the cost. For example, you may not have the credits to have Tavares, let's say, at center, but Oturu is, to me, a quality option to have, and Timan as well. They are both in the 12th rank for credits. As you see, only versus Valencia had single-digit fantasy points with 8, and Maccabi and Alba. But Alba and Maccabi, it was his first 2 games, so that's why I don't count them that much.
Yeah,
he exploded.
4 of the last 5. Yeah,
and also versus Real. He was playing versus Tavares and Poirier, but he managed to get double-digit fantasy points.
Cool. So with that, we are done with our teams. And guys, you sent us your opinion and your choices for this double round week. Did you change everything like us, or did you stick to your guns and just did some minor changes? Let's see what's best. Anyways, enjoy this another double round week, another overdose of basketball, and see you at the next episode.
See you next time, guys. Enjoy the games.